All right. Good morning. Looks like I am streaming, but remember there's a delay, so you should be able to get this in just a second. So today, if you notice on Haiku, you're going to see that we are doing Introduction to Tinkercad, and there's a link for this, which is the live lesson. And then tomorrow, you're going to build your drawings in Tinkercad, and then Friday, again, build lessons in Tinkercad, and then Monday, you're going to finish Tinkercad assignments. All right, so that's what we're doing. And then, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday are testing days, and then Thursday and Friday, hopefully, we'll be able to do something fun in Minecraft. All right, so to get started, you're going to go to tinkercad.com. 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 All right. Now, my page is very different, so let me switch over to what you're going to see. tinkercad.com. All right. So, looks like we're signed in. And I actually created an account for Crystal because I was testing this. So Crystal, you already have an account. I'll give you your sign-in information in just a second. I'll write it down so that everybody doesn't have it. All right. So if you go to tinkercad.com, you're going to click Join Now. When you click Join Now, and actually I'm going to have Caitlin go ahead and put in her date of birth. Caitlin, come over here, please. Thank you. Here. Yeah, just put it right there. All right. Okay, so she's going to put in her date of birth. Go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. There you go. Okay. All right, so now the thing about Tinkercad is there's, with anything online, there's a law. It's called COPPA, the Child Online Protection Act. And COPPA says that if you are 12 years or younger, then you have to have permission from a parent or adult in order to create an online account. So that's why when you guys see this stuff, once you turn 13, you won't need to do this. So Caitlin, go ahead and put in a username. We're gonna hide this from everybody. So Caitlin right now is gonna go ahead and type in her username. She's gonna create a username. So go ahead and yes. See the mouse is over here? There you go. Click right there. So Caitlin's gonna create a username. I would just actually put in just your name and maybe like a number at the end, like your full like first and last name, and then like a number at the end. It's not really that important that your username is secret, but it's always a good idea to have your username to be something that, you know, is a little bit different. So we could just try that. And then on your password, so click there. I would just do like some combination of letters and like your user ID, just to make, or your student ID, just to make it easier for you. Like maybe like BAMS and then your student ID or something like that, or your student ID and BAMS. That's going to make it easier for you to remember. Now, the way we're setting this up, I will have the ability to reset your password if we need to, and then you're going to put in. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is on your parents' email address, put in my email address. Okay, so mjohnston@yisd.net. Okay, mjohnston@yisd.net. Got it? All right, then if it asks you to like prompt you to save your password or not, you can, but maybe just click don't for now. Okay, now let's go back over to the screen so that we can see what Caitlin sees now. Oh, and it looks like it shows her username. So, you know, it's not that big a deal to keep your username secret as long as your password's secret. Okay, so right now she's got this. It says get approved now once you log in. So in order to get approved now, you're gonna need a code, which I have for you, which is right here, AVYLAS2V. And so I'm going to copy that code. And then I'm going to go over to Caitlin's account and I'm going to paste it right here. And then click Get Approved. Okay, and now she's approved. Now Caitlin can sign in to her Tinkercad account and use it anywhere. So Caitlin, if you want to go to tinkercad.com and then sign in with your account, you'll be able to sign in now. So I'm going to log her out from my computer, and I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go to my main Tinkercad page. You should see something like this, although you won't have any design. So you're going to find the button that says Create New Design. So when you create new design, you're given this workspace, and on this workspace there's something in the lower right. It says Edit Grid. If you click Edit Grid, we're going to change the units to inches, and the preset we're going to change to MakerBot Replicator Mini Plus. That 3D printer that's in the corner of the room is a MakerBot Replicator Mini Plus. I also have the MakerBot Replicator 5th Gen. That one's over in the prep room. All right, so we'll use the Replicator Mini right now, and then click Update Grid. And so now this grid, this little workspace you have, is representative of what you would have the ability to print on the MakerBot Mini Plus. All right, so now in the upper left, I want you to see some controls here. We have this cube that says like top and front, and when you move your mouse over it, it highlights these little spots. If you click on the corner and click and hold on the corner and then drag it around, you'll see the workspace will move around so you can get different angles. You can also click where it says top, and then you can click these little arrows. So play around with that, but at any time you get confused and you're like, where am I? You can click this little home button, this little house where it says home view. Okay? Once you've done that and you're in this home view, or you can click fit all to view, or you can click the plus and minus, or you can switch. And we're going to talk about the orthographic versus perspective view in just a second. But for now, what I want you to do is just click over here where these are the basic shapes. All right, and then if you click that little drop down, you'll see there's text and numbers, characters, connectors, a lot of different things in here. We're going to keep it on basic shapes for now while we're learning. And then just click once on the box, and then you can move your mouse around and place it wherever you want. Now if you click and drag, you can do that too, but sometimes it's a little bit harder when you click and drag, especially with your trackpad on a Chromebook. With your Chromebook, if you have access to a mouse, I would highly recommend getting a mouse. It's going to be so much easier. The controls are a lot easier to use, but you don't have to. Okay, so I'm just going to place this anywhere on the grid by clicking again, or letting go of clicking if you clicked and dragged. Okay, now I'm just going to look at this shape. I'm just going to drag the box around and look at it. So I have this basic cube. I'll click on it again, and notice I have these little boxes. Here, I'll zoom in so it make it a little easier. I have these little corner boxes right here, and when I hover over it, it shows me the dimension of the box. If I just click once, and then I can move my mouse around and I click in the box right here, for instance, I can then change the exact size that I want it. Or I can just click and drag, and it'll show me. Now you'll notice when I click and drag, it's going by 1/8 of an inch. Look, now I'm at 7/8. Watch this. If I go to the right, then I'm at 3/4, then I'm at 5/8, 1/2, 3/8, 1/4, and 1/8. And the reason it's jumping like that is because in the lower right, it says Snap Grid, and right now it's on 1/8. If I ever want to move something around with more precision, and you can use the arrow keys to do that too, like up, down, left, right. I'm using the arrow keys right now. Okay, but it's going to go by 1/8 of an inch at a time because that's the Snap Grid setting down there. All right, so once I click and let go, I can also click in this little box and I can change to the exact dimension. Now notice 1.25 is 1 1/8. So you're going to need to put it in like this. So if you put in, let's say 0.75 and push enter, and then I can click over here and push 0.75 and push enter. Now I have a box, and I'm going to click the top view here. I'm going to click home first, and then I'll click top view. Maybe zoom in a little bit. Now right now, if I click and hold my middle mouse wheel, I can drag it around, but right, I don't think you can do that with your Chromebook. Maybe if you hold like Shift. Yeah, if you hold down the Shift key on your Chromebook, if you're using your trackpad, if you hold down the Shift key and then do 2 fingers, right? Do 2 fingers, when you push it down, it'll move it around like this. And notice, it's kind of like I'm in Minecraft. If I'm flying around, it looks like I'm above the box, okay? So the box like kind of changes shape as I move this around. That's because I'm in perspective view. And perspective view is designed to look kind of like, look what it would look like in real life. But if I change it to orthographic view, so I switch right here, now when I move it around, notice it's always a square, no matter where it is on the screen. That's orthographic view. For the kind of stuff we're doing, we probably almost always want to work in orthographic view until we're ready to just kind of look at it. Then we could switch to perspective view. So get yourself this nice top view. If you're somewhere like this, just click where it says top, and then maybe click plus a couple times to zoom in. All right, and then notice that we have a box now. If we click, it's 3/4 by 3/4. Now let's look at it from this side. We'll notice that we click on this little button right here, and we can see that the height is still 1 inch. So if I click on it and then click in there, I'm going to change it to 0.75 so that I have a cube that is 0.75. And notice I can see the front view, the right view, the back, the left. I can see the bottom of it, the back of it, and then the front, right? By clicking those little arrows, I can switch my view around. Okay. Also, if I click with 2 fingers and drag it around, or if you have a mouse, you can click and hold the right mouse button and you can drag it around. Okay. So you're going to get more comfortable with this as you work with it. Okay, I want to show you something else too. So I have a solid shape here. I'm going to click on the box that looks like it's got stripes, and then I'm going to move it over, maybe just something like that. You can do yours a little different. Maybe I'll look at it from the front view, and I'm going to raise that box up a little bit. There's a like black arrow up here. All right, when you click and hold on that black arrow, it's going to raise that box up for you. So, or you can click on it, you can click and drag, and then you can actually type in the amount that you want it to go up by. So I'm going to say I'll have it go up by 1/2 inch, and so there it is. Okay. Notice the part that's like kind of darker, and then the part, so I'm going to highlight both of them now. I'm going to click and drag to highlight both shapes, and then I'll click the group button. It's in the upper right, or you could do Control G. It's a fast way of doing it if you know. You could do Control G. So now what it did is it quote unquote added those 2 shapes together. Okay, if I added 2 solid shapes together, just something like that, and highlight it, and then click the group button, well, now it's one piece, right? I've added it together. And anytime you want to undo, you can just click the little undo button right here. Okay. But when I have a positive number and a negative number, and I add a negative number, it's like I'm subtracting it, right? So this box right here is a hole. It is a negative shape. It's going to subtract whatever it's joined with. All right, so when I highlight both of those and I click group, now I get a shape that looks like this. So there's all kinds of things I can do. Now I could grab a cylinder. I could change the size and shape of the cylinder. I could drag it right there. I could change it like that. I could highlight it and then group it. And there you go. Now I got like a little hole in them. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Okay. I'm going to go back to my main page here and show you when you click on it where it says Tinkercad, you'll have all these projects. So anytime you want to start a new project or you want to do something different, just click Create New Design. And you notice I didn't have to click Save. I didn't have to do anything like that. It's like Google Docs. It saves it for you. All right. Notice that like some of the shapes that I've made. Look at that. Doesn't that look familiar? If I click tinker this, yeah, it's gonna load a picture of it. Yeah, that looks like one of the images we did, or one of the shapes that we did. If I click tinker this, it's gonna take me to it. Look at that. Isn't that exactly, let me switch to orthographic view. Isn't that exactly like our isometric sketch that we did? Look at this, watch. I'll go right like that. If you were to hold up that orthographic sketch that you did, we did that in Haiku. Let me pull that up in Haiku. Where's my link? So let me go to Haiku real quick, and I'll go to the lesson. Design and modeling. How big was that fish? And I'm going to scroll down to the sketches. Let's see, sketches. Not dimensioning, the sketches. Oh wait, the sketches weren't in 1.3. The sketches are in 1.2. A picture's worth 1,000 words, that's right. So we're gonna go to 1.02. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and scroll down. Look, remember it told you about a thumbnail sketch, perspective sketch, and an isometric sketch? You see how the perspective sketch and the isometric sketch look different? Now I'm going to jump over to Tinkercad and show you. There's the isometric sketch. If I click perspective, see how it changes? Okay, perspective sketch is different than the isometric or the orthographic view. So let me go back over to Haiku and watch. I'll scroll down. See that shape right there? You were supposed to draw a multi-view sketch of that shape, right? Now if I go to Tinkercad, look, it's the exact same shape. Right? Now let's look at the multi-view sketch. Go back over here. See how it's top, front, and right? Say of like this one. Well, top, front, right. Watch this. If I click top, hey, oh, I need to switch to orthographic view. See how I can see that little edge right there? That's how I can tell I'm in perspective view, and how like this doesn't line up. See, that's weird, right? If I click, there you go. So now that's the top view. All right. Now if I click home, let's say I want to see the front view. Look, that's the front view. Notice the line. Remember how we drew our lines? That's a solid line right there. That's showing us that there's a break, right? So now if I want to see the right view, so look, there's the front view, there's the right view. I can even see the back view. I can go back to the top view, reorient it the way that I need it. Okay, so this is going to be very helpful to make sure that you're drawing things, or that you're modeling them in Tinkercad the right way. All right, so now let's say that I have a multi-view sketch right in front of me, and I want to design it in Tinkercad. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is to click Create New Design, and the first one you do, I want you to take your assignment, right? And if you go back over here to your dimensioning, which is under 1.3, how big was that fish? If you go back to this assignment and go down to your dimensioning sketches, if you go down to that assignment and you click View Work, or hand in or something, and you click View Work, you can pull up the drawings that you submitted. Or if you still have them, the physical drawings that you created, then that's great. You're going to use those papers. So you should have your dimensions already. Again, I'm going to edit the grid. I want to see the MakerBot Mini grid. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I know that those blocks are 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. So I'm going to place this on the build plate, and then I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to put 0.75 and then click right here and do 0.75, and then I'm going to click up here and do 0.75. Okay, so I know I have a little cube. Now the cool thing about Tinkercad is I can click on it, I can do Control C and Control V, and it'll copy and paste the exact same shape right immediately. Now I can use the arrow keys, and I just click the arrow key a couple times to the right, and now I have two cubes right next to each other, just like that. Okay, I'm going to do Control V again. Now I got another cube. I'm going to go over a couple times, and then I'm going to click this little arrow guy right there and drag it up until it's just, if I go too far, I'll just go back down. And it might be easier to work with this on the front view. Remember, we want to be an orthographic view. If you're in perspective, you want to switch it. Okay. Because then if I have like that, I have a little gap. I don't want a gap. I'm going to drop that down right there. Now I'll do Control C and Control V again. And I'll just use the arrow keys to go over a couple times. Now if I push the up key right here, if I push the arrow up key, it's not going to go up. Instead, what it's doing, if I go back to the front, instead of what I do, it's going to go backward and forward. Okay? Because the up and down keys will always move it on the grid this way, and the right keys this way. Right and left key like this, up and down like this. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now when I'm looking at it from the side, if I want to make it go up, I have to click that little arrow guy and then click and drag, and oh, I gotta move this a little bit, and then click and drag. Oh, too far, so I'll come back down, right? All right, so that's like one of the shapes that we did, right? Or except I might need another block here. I'll just grab this block. I'll do Control C, Control V. I'll use my little arrow keys to get it over to where I want it. And then look, super easy, right? Now all I have to do is highlight the whole thing, click Group, and now I got a shape. And it's all one single shape. I could even change, now I could change the size of that shape even. Like I could change the whole size of the whole shape. Because it's one shape now. And anytime you mess up, remember you could just click the back button, and there you go. Super, super easy. And there's another way you can make this shape. I'm going to put this guy over to the side, and this is just an example. So I'll get a block. Now this guy right here is 1.5 by 1.5. So if I make this block right here 1.5 by 1.5, and then let's see how tall this guy is right here. If I click this guy, it's 1.25, so 1.25. So I'll click right here, or 2.25, 2.25. Okay, now I have a box that is, it's like if you think about like you're a sculptor, okay, if you have a piece of stone that's the same size, then I can cut out of that stone to get what I want, right? So if I want this, then I could like cut out of it. So if I looked at it from the top, I see that I would want to cut out this kind of part right there, right? So I'll grab a little hole, I'll bring it over here. Now I happen to know that from there that's 1/4 inch, so I'll just click on this, or 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75, and then right here 0.75, enter. Now notice it doesn't look gray, but that's because it's only 1 inch tall. Alright, so I want to make this taller, I can just click and drag. See, and because it's a negative, I don't need to have it exactly in the right spot. Right? So now if I join these, if I just highlight just those two, don't highlight this one, you don't want to do that. Okay? Just highlight just the two things you want to join, and then click Group. I was able to cut that out of that big block, okay? So that should be enough to get you started making your things. We're gonna, tomorrow, I'm gonna have you take your drawings and build them in Tinkercad. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.